people tend to think of a story as something that you follow. So there's a storyteller, and then there's an audience. And what we're finding now with new media is that there's a much stronger buzz component that comes into play when determining whether a story is going to work well or not. And you see it in pretty much every space. So you look at marketing, journalism, policy, entertainment, obviously, even something like education. The point is that the audience, the recipient of the information, is very quickly becoming just as much of a storyteller as the original storyteller themselves. And when that happens, you're not really talking about an audience at all anymore. What you're talking about is a community. So there's a story, but the story takes place in the form of a discussion. So traditional storytelling is for an audience, and new media storytelling is for a community. It's the creation of a context within which multiple stories are shared between participants of the world. So there's a central story, but there's also the story of why the story is being told. Who's telling that story? What's their story? Who are they telling it to? How are they delivering their message? What other stories are out there that contradict this one? The point is that all of these contextual stories come together to determine and shape the meaning and impact of the central story itself. And what we do is look at all of this from a top-down perspective, and we view a story not as something that you follow, simply, but something that you experience. So something that you both follow and participate in simultaneously. Now, there are fictional stories, and there are stories that are quote-unquote real. But we don't separate them like that. The way we separate them is very simple. There are stories that just don't work, and there are stories that work very well, that actually have a true impact on emotion and behavior. And people can feel the difference, even if they don't quite know why. So we've analyzed that phenomenon, and we've devised a methodology that allows us to apply our thinking to any category of community, whether it be a functional community, like say a company or a nonprofit organization, or a social community, like a fan base or a local sports team. And the real question that we're asking ourselves, and you, is this: are we going to be experiencing stories that divide and pacify us? Or are we going to be experiencing stories that unify and empower us to do what it is that we're passionate about doing?